folks, this is all the fruit, and honeysuckle fruits are supposed to be poisonous, right? Well, that's true for most species, but not for the blue honeysuckle, Lonicera caerulea, which in recent years has been hyped as the earliest fruit in Germany. Well, it's not really true. I would say that the silverberry basically beats it by several months, but if you want to introduce a new fruit, you have to get a bit creative with advertisement. For years I wanted to taste and review this fruit and never managed to do it. Why not? I will come to that in a moment. Basically, Lonicera caerulea has a circumpolar distribution. You found it in cold areas of North America, Europe, Asia. The variety Kamchatka, which is native to kind of Siberia, Kamchatka, and the Kuril Islands, have been gathered as a wild berry by the Ainu people and other indigenous people probably for thousands of years. The popular name Haskap comes from the Ainu language. It's the Ainu name for this. The Ainu are the natives of Japan. Yes, not the Japanese. The Japanese are not the natives of Japan. The Ainu are. They are still present in small numbers in northern Japan, mostly in Hokkaido. Well, they've collected it for thousands of years, but the modern world only started experimenting with this quite recently. In the Soviet Union, they started breeding it in the 50s and achieved some success in the 80s. Then also in Japan, there were breeding programs. And after 2000, it starts to percolate into the West. Well, here we are in the city of Heidelberg. We are in a greenhouse, which would suggest that this plant is not very frost hardy. Yes, it is. Extremely frost hardy. Many varieties the Soviets have created have a frost hardiness from zone 4 to zone 1. Then why is it growing in a greenhouse here? Well, I'm not sure why it's growing in a greenhouse here. That's the greenhouse of my friend Doro, and I'll ask her. Mostly she plants things in this greenhouse because she has more space in the greenhouse than outdoors. She's a lucky woman. But what I want to show you here, the other end of the greenhouse, is another blueberry. The blueberry. See the pot here? Actually, the pots, there are several pots. Actually, there is a theory that the name of the city of Heidelberg comes from the blueberry, or Heidelbeere in German. And the book Huckleberry Finn was written in Heidelberg. And there is the theory that Mark Twain named his character Huckleberry Finn after the city of Heidelberg. And in Heidelberg you have a lot of blueberries. However, they grow into those hills over there. But here in the lowland, which is the main fruit and veg producing area of Heidelberg, you have actually a couple farms which produce blueberries on a commercial scale. Some of them have many hundreds of those pots, also usually in greenhouses, despite the fact that those things can also take a lot of frost. Why do they have them in pots? Well, because while the soil on the hills over there is usually quite acidic, the soil down here is quite rich in lime. This is coincidentally a limestone which is not from here. This was brought here by a truck, but the soil here is quite alkaline. That's why those blueberries have to grow in pots. And actually I'm quite surprised that the so-called Kamchatka blueberry, let's go back to our plant, is not also grown in a pot. Because the reason why most people here in Heidelberg are unsuccessful with growing this seems to be the alkaline soil. Not even sure why people in Heidelberg grow the blueberries mostly in greenhouses. In the commercial farms, it's probably mostly to protect them from fruit flies. The Japanese fruit fly is a big problem around here. As I said, Doro probably grows this thing in a greenhouse because she has a lot of space here. Actually, I would like her to use that space for a lot of less frost hardy things. But I'm surprised that she managed to grow it here when so many people failed. Maybe she's putting a lot of organic material into the soil to make it more acidic. People tell me a couple kilometers farther east in the hills, in the cold climate and the sour soil, this thing is growing and fruiting like crazy. Now let's try it. Literature says it can be already blue outside, but if it's still green outside, it will be sour and not tasty. Yeah, it's actually purple inside. Not bad. It's a tasty little berry. Less flavor than a blueberry, I would say. By the way, blueberries and Kamchatkan blueberries are not closely related, to totally different families. A good fruit, usually it would fruit earlier than blueberries. Here in the greenhouse, it should have fruited even earlier because the fruiting season, for example, of those raspberries is like 2 or 3 weeks earlier than the raspberries outdoors. Same goes more or less for the currants. Yeah. I could have asked Doro before I started the video, but it's more fun doing it this way. Doing the video, guessing what's up, making you guess and put your ideas in the comments, and then later ask Doro how she actually managed to grow this. So folks, tell me your ideas about the Kamchatka blueberry, about the soil you need to grow it in, about the quality of the fruits. Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly diverse giant greenhouse of Doro in Heidelberg. And if you want to see more such content, it's not enough to just subscribe to my channel because YouTube doesn't recommend my videos anymore, even to most subscribers. Better, press the little bell icon, then YouTube needs to notify you when I upload a new video.